Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we are going to discuss about Sultan Bayezid. In previous class we discussed that Sultan Murad was killed in the battlefield. So Sultan Bayezid first has to take power or to be the ruler of Ottoman Empire as soon as possible to complete that battle which was started by his father Murad. So in coming slides we will discuss about Sultan Bayezid in detail. Here you can see the timeline of Sultan Bayezid. So he was born on 1360 and he became the ruler of Ottoman Empire in 1389 and he captured and imprisoned by Sultan Timur in 1402 and he died in prison in 1403. So we will explain in detail about this timeline in coming part. So as we discussed earlier, Bayezid, son of Murad, became the next ruler of Ottoman Empire just after his father was killed in the battlefield in a battle against Serbia. And he was popularly known as Ildrim or Thunderbolt. So we will say his name in history, Bayezid the Thunderbolt. He got this title because he was a fear or he was like a thunder to many European rulers of that time and especially for crusaders who tried to attack Islam and Islamic empires all over the world. And the first thing he did when he became the new ruler of Ottoman Empire was ensuring the death of his brother Yaqub. So because he feared that his brother Yaqub will also try to be the new ruler of Ottoman Empire. That's why he ordered some of his soldiers to kill his brother Yaqub. So this killing of his brother Yaqub was first fratricide in the history of Ottoman Empire. If you read the history of different dynasties, you will find out that in many dynasties there were brother killing as a habit. Everyone will kill their brothers to be the next ruler. So killing his own brother is called fratricide, and in the Ottoman Empire the first fratricide happened in the time of Bayezid because he killed his brother Yaqub. And as we discussed earlier, Bayezid became the ruler in a battlefield against Serbia. So he has to complete that battle. So he completed that battle by defeating Serbian King Stephen and made them a vassal of Ottomans or Turkey. And Serbia has to pay a definite amount of money to Ottoman Empire in every year. Now we can discuss about Bayezid's campaigns and battles. So by conquering Serbia and making them a new vessel for Ottoman Empire, Bayezid secured his western borders from enemies. Now he has to turn back to eastern part because many of their old vassals proclaimed their independence when they heard that Murad was killed in a battlefield and they thought that Ottoman Empire will lose their strength after Murad. But Bayezid returned back to them and reconquered them and made them vassals of Ottoman Empire once again. And some of these vassals are Germian and Aydin. And after securing his borders in eastern part and western part, he turned towards Constantinople, the capital of Byzantine Empire. So in 1394 he began his siege against Constantinople. So for helping that siege he built a castle in the Bosphorus, so he and his army can stay there until they will conquer Constantinople. At the same time, Ottoman armies began to conquer many places in Balkan province. So this conquering of Balkan province started a fear in the heart of Hungary. So because they were in neighborhood of Balkan province, so they thought Ottoman Empire will come to conquer them also after the Balkans. So they asked help from crusaders and from the rulers of France and England. So these people joined together and proclaimed a crusade under the Pope against Ottoman Empire. So in coming slide we will discuss about that crusade and some more battles of Bayezid. 25 1396, both the armies of Crusaders and Ottoman Empire met at a place known as Nikopol near Danube. And in that battle, Ottoman Empire defeated the armies of Crusaders. And also, we can say that in the 11 years of his rule, Bayezid added many places to Ottoman Empire. And also, he made many of European rulers the vassals of Ottoman Empire. Like he conquered many part of Asia Minor, Macedonia, Hungary, Bulgaria, Byzantines, Greek, Serbia, and Wallachia. In short, we can say that his name, the name of Bayezid itself, became a word of terror among European rulers in that time, because if he tried to conquer them, he will, because he was so powerful. Now we can discuss about the last battle and the death of Bayezid in coming slide. Now we are going to discuss about Battle of Angara. Battle of Angara has great significance in the history of Ottoman Empire, because from their beginning they were growing very fast, but after the Battle of Angara they faced some difficulties. So we are going to discuss about Battle of Angara in detail. So as we discussed earlier, Bayezid was conquering many places in Europe. At the same time, there emerged a new ruler in Asia, his name popularly known as Timur in Asia and Tamerlane in Europe. So he was a scholar. At the same time, he was a cruel leader. He had some important scholarly debates and discussions with many Islamic scholars of that time. Like he had one with Ibn Khaldun, the famous historian. So it would be better if you read more about Timur, because he is a wonderful character in the history. So we are coming to our point that Bayezid was conquering some parts in Asia Minor. So some rulers of Asia Minor asked help from Timur. So Timur contacted with Bayezid and asked him to be a vassal of Timur. But Bayezid rejected this offer and he said, Ottoman Empire is an independent dynasty. They are not going to be vassal of any one. So Timur decided to attack Bayezid. For that, in 1400, Timur crossed from Armenia to Asia Minor, and with 18 lakhs of soldiers, he attacked the border of Ottoman Empire, which is known as Sivas. When Bayezid heard about Timur's advance and conquest of Sivas, he also decided to conquer Sivas. So in 1401, Bayezid came to Sivas, and in 1402, two armies of Bayezid and Timur met each other on the plain of Angara, and in that battle Ottoman Empire was defeated by Timur, and their ruler Bayezid was captured and imprisoned, and in 1403 he died in the prison of Timur. So it was a bad or sad end for Timur, because for a long time he was like a terror for many European rulers and also for crusaders. So it was a bad end for both Bayezid and also Ottoman Empire. So because for many years they didn't face any kind of difficulties in their growth and development. But after the death of Bayezid or imprisonment of Bayezid, there were many difficulties in Ottoman Empire because they didn't get a well-known ruler for a long time, and most of their states or vassals which were under Ottoman Empire for a long time now transferred their vassalship or their allegiance or their commitment towards Timur. So in coming class we will discuss about this difficulty situation of Ottoman Empire in detail, and I think you all have to learn and study more about Timur and Bayezid, and inshallah we will continue our class in next period. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.